It's time to talk sports today. Nnamdi Oban joins us again today. Thank you for coming on this morning. Well, first of all, let's start off with this one. It was tough for so many to sleep in Africa yesterday night, especially seeing how Cote d'Ivoire lost out of the group of 16.
Once again, it's that tactical indiscipline that haunts African football, that even when they are playing well, they make funny blunders. Cote d'Ivoire have always started their matches very slowly, hadn't even scored a goal before the 64th minute in any match. So even when they conceded the lead to Greece, there was always this feeling that they could get a goal back, especially as all they needed was a draw. And two, the fact that the goal was due to defensive carelessness, again in discipline. Tiote losing the ball and Samaras pouncing on it. And then with less than 90 seconds to go, you consider a penalty. The job was very easy. The coach, Lamucci, cannot be blamed. He had taken off Gervinho, Drogba, people who were tired. And he brought on CEO and others who should have been quicker, fresher, and kept the ball up front. All they had to do a lot of times was keep the ball in the corner, run down the clock. They were trying to score at every time they went forward. Secondly, Greece had been bombarding their box with cross after cross after cross. Cote d'Ivoire, rather than show up the fullback positions, were willing to stand in the middle and try and get it out every time. And one time they missed it, considered the penalty, and lost the match. As easy as that. Same thing we saw Algeria, even though they won 4-2. Second half started and they were leading 3-0, and they let South Korea get in 2 goals. If they hadn't scored a 4th goal and when it was 3-1, it would have been very, very dicey for them. So it's this indiscipline that's costing African countries. We saw Ghana take a 2-1 lead against Germany, a shock lead. All they needed to do was sit back, calm down, be disciplined. And from a simple set piece, they had nobody on the far post and left one of the world's deadliest strikers closer, one of the best poachers alone to score. So that's all that happened to Cote d'Ivoire last night. It was that same tactical indiscipline that haunts African football that led to their exit.
You know, because the Cote d'Ivoire we saw at the Nations Cup, there seems to be some improvements with this one we see at the World Cup, because in the Nations Cup, from 65 minutes, they just lose steam. And that was when we pick up. The last game we played against them where we won. But in this one, their goals are coming after 65 minutes.
I don't see it as an improvement. I think now it's taking them longer to get a hold of the game. I mean, up until Greece met Cote d'Ivoire, they hadn't scored a goal in this World Cup.
Don't forget, it's an aging team.
It's an aging team, but Greece were goalless. They're not the sharpest. Their best striker is playing as a wide right-sided midfielder for them, Jojo Samaras. They are not very... They don't rush the opponents. They can't counter-attack. They are not fast. They depend on long-range shots and set pieces. They are quite easy to contain. But you see, it's in discipline. And that's why they will be able to get over African teams. Look at even Nigeria as another example. Simply because African teams cannot, we don't seem to practice set pieces. We don't seem to watch opponents. I mean, Cote d'Ivoire is fast, is strong. Greece should have been a walk in the park for them. If not to win them, at least to contain them.
Where do we draw the line? The African teams or the coaches of the African teams? Is it the coaches don't study all those opponents, tell them to practice set pieces?
It's not always the coaches. Let's use practical examples. I've used Lamucci now. He made the right changes, fresh legs towards the end of the match in the areas with people like Gervinho came off, so that people who were fitter and stronger could pick the ball and hold it in the corner. All the player had to do was follow instructions. What could Cameroon's coach have done about Asu Ekoto headbutting a teammate on the pitch, or about Song using his elbow to hit Mandzukic? What could he have done about that? This is just indiscipline in African football. That's just it. And it's because from an early age, African players are not in properly structured academies where they have discipline. Most of what they learn in foreign countries. So when they come back home, they are more or less demigods in the national team setting. That's why you find in discipline things they can't do at the clubs, they do in their national teams. I mean, we've seen even Yaya Toure at this World Cup has been very, very, will I say, tepid. He hasn't exactly come to the party and hasn't dominated.
His emotions, are they getting to him? The loss of his sibling there, because he spoke about it, how the team didn't let him go visit his brother, and that made him sustain some injuries.
His teammate, Sarah Day, lost his father hours before a match. So I don't know what his excuses. And Sarah Day played that match against Colombia. He lost his father hours to the match, and he played that match. So yes, emotions happen, and if you feel you're not emotionally up to it, then sit. But as the African Footballer of the Year, and currently the best player your country has on offer, it's your job to step up at a major tournament like this and lead the team. And that he didn't do.
Nigeria, Argentina. Can the Super Eagles fly?
This is looking most likely like a draw.
Wow.
Yeah, it's looking most likely like a draw.
If we draw and Iran wins, maybe 2-0.
It doesn't matter. We have 5 points. They have 4.
Did you read that story where I think NFF said they uncovered the plot that Bosnia was to sell them lose out to Iran? Where could that have come from?
It could just be mind games, so that Bosnia have to play very well, or it proves that they actually want to sell the match.
Are they learning from Mourinho already?
The truth is, Bosnia and Argentina will probably play the best football today, being that they both have nothing to lose. Bosnia is out.
Bosnia and Argentina, not...
No, I mean in their respective matches.
Oh, okay.
They will play the best football. Bosnia against Iran. Bosnia have nothing to lose. They are going home. They want to salvage some national pride. Their first World Cup, give their country something to take home, and believe that there's a future for Bosnian football. For Argentina, nervous in their first match, won that 1-2. Messi got the goal, got the relief. Second match, Iran played the defensive formation. They finally in the late minute got that goal. They have 6 points. They are through. What you're looking for is leadership of the group to avoid France. And so playing Nigeria, they won't really be under any pressure. The only pressure can be the fact that they don't want to meet France.
Do you see them resting players, Argentina?
There's a possibility of them resting players. There's always that possibility. They have the luxury. Nigeria don't have that luxury. They do. They can rest players. What we don't know is the formation they will use. We saw in their first match, Argentina which is not normal to them, playing a 5-3-2 formation, 5 defenders. But the reason for that is that the likes of Zabaleta are very good at going forward, and they can cause a lot of problems. You play 5-3-2 against Nigeria, you can give us problems, being that Oshinawa and Ambrose like to go forward a lot. And when they do that, they leave only 2 men back, whereas Argentina will have 3 men sitting deep. We can also exploit that if we play it well. I mean, if the likes of Musa, Emenike, possibly Moses, possibly Batunde, we don't know who will play, can get in those spaces between the fullbacks and the central defenders, we can actually spread them. Their defense hasn't been the best. They are not very good defensively. It's going forward where they are very, very dangerous. And the fact that they haven't scored too many goals in this World Cup, they've scored only 3, does not mean they can't score. Iran had 11 men behind the ball. Nigeria does not know how to play 11 men behind the ball. Nigeria does not know how to play defensive football. So we just have to go out, play, and rely on a bit of luck. Hope Yama has one of his excellent performance days, and anything can happen. Sometimes
you think we will qualify for the next stage?
Yeah, we should qualify.
And who will play? France?
If we finish second, yes, we'll be meeting France. But the truth is, looking ahead, which I hate doing, I like to look at it one match at a time. If we do go forward and meet France, everybody has seen France has been scoring bucket loads of goals. But the truth is, they might just have peaked too early at the World Cup. And look, you can't keep that level of performance that high throughout the whole tournament. At some point, there must be a dip. And the fact that we've seen Evra struggle with big, strong attackers in the English Premier League, and we saw what Emenike did against Bosnia. You don't want Emenike drifting out right, and Evra will not be able to cope with him. So it's not as if it's something for you to be afraid of. And the truth is, a team can't attack when they are defending, which is part of what we have to do today. We have to keep Argentina defending as much as possible.
That'll be a key point. So tonight's match, you think is a draw?
I'm predicting a draw, yeah.
All right, then thank you for coming on, Namdi. We'll be back after this and examine some of your comments on today's program. It's time to go through your comments and your tweets, yes, plus your emails. And this one comes from Eddie. Eddie talking about the elections in Ekiti. He says, this has proved that politics is always about the people and not candidates or the party.
Okay. I thought it wasn't. You didn't want to go again. Go away. Well, anyway, this one says, sorry, excuse me. I hope this connectivity will translate to sustainable development in Ekiti State. This is from Oni.
And Pearl says, we must watch and see what will happen in the next 4 years. We can't live on promises. Well, let's see. Pearl, are you in Ekiti State? You have to keep us informed if you are. Anybody else? Nothing on the matches.
No,
I heard Namdi say, if we win, it's going to be when.
Or if we draw.
It's when we win. We're meeting, meeting France and their bucket load of goals.
Well, I like us to get to the next stage first, you know. So we'll just take it one match at a time, so we don't get overtly disappointed. But, Should be interesting to watch. So, hey, support the Super Eagles. They can fly, and they should fly.
They can fly. They will fly.
They will fly.
Yes.
That's the way to
They
go.
say women have been supporting them more, and I guess it's just blind love.
Okay, Super Eagles, we'll be watching. Well, that's it today, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for your contributions as well. I'm Mao Feng Ugun.
Well, on the match, nothing from me. Many thanks. I'm Sulaiman.
Coward.